Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's World. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But let's go ahead and get right into it. We got Smackdown kicking off with Jacob Fatu and Tom Matangash being shown walking into the arena, as well as LA Knight shown backstage and Tiffany Stratton. We also hear Joe talking in the ring. He introduces Cody Rhodes. Cody's music hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. Joe does an interview with Cody. He tells Cody this is the last time that you will basically hold this championship around your shoulders until the Royal Rumble. And how do you feel about that? He said he's perfectly fine with that and he's ready to go. He has zero problems handing it over. Cody hypes up Kevin Owens and everything that Kevin Owens has done for the business, but he says 10 out of 10 times Kevin Owens will take the easy way out of situations. And then Joe asks him if he had one last thing he could say to Kevin Owens face to face in his eye, what would it be? And he said Cody basically says, "I'm trying to be a good guy, but when you push a button, there's consequences." He says, "Don't forget, I beat the guy that everybody put at the highest level, the top of the pedestal in Roman Reigns." And he says, "Also, don't forget who my teacher was, Randy Orton." So he pretty much leaves us with that. He says, "Good luck um, to, to Kevin Owens," and Cody Rhodes music hits, and we get backstage with DIY and Pretty Deadly. Um, I'm sorry, Pretty Deadly's basically asking DIY, what's the game plan for tonight? Johnny says, "I don't have time for any of that. I have to get ready because now I have a match tonight with Apollo Crews." And as I was telling you guys on my preview episode, I did believe that match was going to be a lock for tonight's episode, which we are going to get later on in the show. DIY would eventually walk off, and we see Legado del Fantasma pretty much eyeing down Pretty Deadly as Pretty Deadly walks off towards the ring. Motor City Machine Guns music would hit, and they head towards the ring, and we get a quick commercial break. Back from commercial break, Pretty Deadly's in the ring. I'm sorry, Motor City Machine Guns in the ring, and Pretty Deadly's music hits. They make their way to the ring, and we have a great tag team action match, great back and forth match between these two teams. But it all, of course, ends with the Skull and Bones by Motor City Machine Guns. Then we have a backstage segment with The Miz in Nick Aldis's office. And The Miz says, "Am I brought here because, I get to do something bigger than interview Cody Rhodes. I get to interview Kevin Owens." And Nick basically tells him, "No, not at all. You're actually transferred to Friday Night SmackDown. So, Miz, welcome to Friday nights. Welcome to your new home." But the Miz, of course, he gets a little worried. He says, "Wait, isn't the Wyatts here? Did they get transferred?" He said, "I had them moved to SmackDown. And how did I get put here?" And then he, of course, none other than he blames Karrion Cross for this. Aldis says he has some advice for him, and that's to make some friends, and that's fast. Um, we get to another commercial. Back from commercial break, we have Kevin Owens showing up, and he basically is yelling in the face of Joe, saying, Cody betrays his best friends, and that he will prove everybody wrong and be WWE champion. And then Jay Uso's music would hit. Jay gets into the ring and says, "Kevin, why are you?" And Jay, I'm sorry, Jimmy gets into the ring and says, and Kevin says, "Why are you here, Jimmy?" And they go back and forth. Jimmy would attack Kevin Owens, and Kevin would eventually get out to the ring. Jimmy grabs the mic and says, "Where are you going tonight? It's me and you, one on one." And then Jimmy Uso's music would hit. We get a backstage segment with Chelsea Green, Piper Nivens, uh, and their show making their way to the ring for a little tag team action, which, again, I did say on the preview episode we would get tonight with BFAB and Michin. Back from commercial, Carmelo Hayes is shown in Nick Aldis's office. He is supposed to be facing Jimmy tonight. However, Nick Aldis basically tells Carmelo Hayes that he will be facing a new member of the SmackDown roster again tonight, as he did a few weeks ago. Um, so, who could it be? We don't know yet. I'm sure some people at first maybe thought he could have been talking about the Miz, but then he told Carmelo to stick around and he would find out. So we go back to the ring and we have Chelsea Green's music hits, and her and Piper Nivens make their way to the ring. Meechin and B-Fab would then make their way to the ring, and we get a little tag team action between Meechin, B-Fab versus Piper Nivens and Chelsea Green. Meechin picks up the victory on Chelsea Green, and then backstage after that match, we have Carmelo Hayes saying he's trying or waiting to see who it is, and Damian Priest basically shows up in Nick Aldis's office, and Nick tells Damian that Carmelo Hayes wants to face him one on one in a match, which leads to Aldis booking that match for later on in the show. Tiffany is then shown walking towards the ring, and then we get hit with another commercial. Back from commercial break, we have a video package of none other than Charlotte Flair right before Tiffany Stratton. Are there some signs leading towards a WrestleMania match? Be on the lookout for that. No. So after the video package of Charlotte Flair's return and claiming she will be in the Royal Rumble, we have Tiffany Stratton's music hitting, and she makes her way to the ring. She says that she is the center of attention and that 30 women will be competing in the Royal Rumble to basically face her. Then Rhea Ripley's music hits to everybody's surprise. Rhea makes her way to the ring. She says that she respects everything that she did to Nia, but it will not shell in comparison to what she's going to do to her this Saturday at Saturday Night's main event. And then, of course, Nia Jax's music hits, and she starts making her way with Candice from the entrance ramp. And then as they walk down, she also officially declares herself for the Women's Royal Rumble. And then after that, Bianca Belair music hits as well, and her and Naomi make their way to the ring. They both end up declaring as well for the Royal Rumble. And now all these women are in the ring, and none other than Liv Morgan's music hits, and she makes her way to the ring with Gonzalez declaring she will enter the Royal Rumble, and that Raquel Rodriguez will help her to win that match. As she's saying that, Rhea would attack Liv Morgan, and absolutely all hell breaks loose. Um, as as things are transpiring, we see Nick Aldis making his way to the ring, and a commercial break unfortunately gets in the way. So we don't necessarily get to hear what the live crowd got to hear, but it was obvious when we got back from commercial break that Nick Aldis called a tag team match, a 6 woman tag team match between Naomi, Bianca, Rhea versus Candice, Liv, and Nia Jax. Liv would pick up the victory here with a roll up on Bianca. And then after the match, we get a backstage segment with Piper and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is looking very upset about losing tonight, almost as if she's getting ready to cry. And B-Fab and Meechin walk up, and Meechin basically tells Chelsea that next week they will face each other one on one for the title. And as after they walk away, Piper Niven says, "We're gonna need some backup security for next week." So I'm curious to see who's gonna be in their corner, or if anybody else is there to protect them, or what transpires in this match. But um, I'm hopeful that Michin gets a title here. She is very deserving. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Maybe we see BFAB turn on Michin and we have a little feud there and we can get some elevation between those two women. But it might be too early for that. I don't think either one of them are fully established. So we may need to wait on that. Uh, DIY is making their way to the ring. Back from commercial, Apollo Cruz makes his way to the ring, and we have Apollo Cruz versus Johnny Gargano. Motor City distract Johnny. Apollo would pick up the win via roll up. Backstage, we have a promo from Jacob Fatu as they make their way to the ring with Tama Tonga. There they then we have get back from commercial break. We have LA Knight making his way to the ring as well for their one-on-one matchup. LA Knight before the matchup grabs a mic and cuts a promo, and says that both of them will have hell to pay. And right before the match, or right as LA Knight gets into the ring, Tonga tries to attack him, and the bell rings immediately. We have an excellent one-on-one matchup between these two, but LA Knight picks up the big victory with the BFT. After the match, Jacob Fatu would attack LA Knight, and eventually Braun Strowman's music would hit, and Braun would enter the ring. Jacob would eventually enter the ring after pushing off Tonga. Once the once that happens, they get what's his name? Tonga tries to distract Braun, but as Jacob tries to come after Braun, Braun would get out of the way, and Jacob would end up outside of the ring, and Tonga basically pulls him back up to the entrance ramp. And then we get cut back to the backstage area with Miz talking to Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. He's basically trying to hype these guys up, tell him he can get them in a movie with the Marine 7. And as that's happening, Nick Aldis walks up behind them and tells Austin Theory and Grayson Waller they are being transferred to Monday Night Raw. And The Miz basically looks very distraught and just upset at this. So The Miz is still in search of friends on SmackDown to help him with his case in the Wyatts. So good luck to The Miz. After that happens, Damian Priest music hits. He makes his way to the ring. Back from commercial break, we get a pre-recorded Shinsuke Nakamura promo as he declares himself for the Royal Rumble. After that video package, we have Carmelo Hayes' music hit. He makes his way to the ring, and we have Carmelo Hayes versus Damian Priest. Another excellent one-on-one matchup tonight on SmackDown, but Damian will pick up the victory with the South of Heaven for the win. Backstage, we have DIY yelling at Aldis. Motor City Machine Gun say they will face DIY at the Royal Rumble in a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's been a while since we've had this type of match. So I know for one, these two teams are going to put on one hell of a show in a 2 out of 3 falls match. We're going to get at least 40 to 60 minutes of action here. So be on the lookout for a 10 out of 10 take home stellar match. Could be a main event type match here. It's definitely going to 3 falls. There's no question with that. I don't see either one of these teams getting a 2 straight victories. And we all know Hunter's cooking. So look for an excellent tag team matchup between these guys at the Royal Rumble. Backstage, we have Kevin Owens getting ready for his match with Jimmy. And then back from commercial break, Damian Priest is walking. He runs into Cody Rhodes. As Cody Rhodes walks away, he says, "I'll see you later, champ." Backstage, we have The Miz talking to Andrade, telling him that he can help guide him and get him to the right light. Andrade looks at The Miz and he says, "I think I'm going to go find somebody who can do that for me." And then he walks off. Jimmy would walk past him and he would hit him with the no yeet. And then as he walks by, or after he walks past him, he gets to Carmelo Hayes. They go back and have a way with words, and then Jimmy Uso's music hits, and he makes his way, or he tries to make his way down the entrance ramp, but Carmelo Hayes would attack him. Security runs out, and they take Carmelo Hayes to the back. Jimmy finishes making his way to the ring, and then we get hit with another commercial break. Back from commercial break, Kevin Owens' music hits. He makes his way to the ring in none other than a Naomi t-shirt, which, if you guys don't know, that is Jimmy Uso's wife. So he is wearing his opponent's wife's t-shirt to the ring. This match is absolutely excellent. However, Kevin Owens would eventually pick up the win with a pop-up power bomb. After this match, however, he tries to get Jimmy with a with a pile driver, the so-called banned WWE move on the announcer's table. But of course, none other than Cody Rhodes' music would hit. And we get a great brawl to end SmackDown between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. It was very interesting not to see security run out before SmackDown ended. However, that's how they ended SmackDown, with these two brawling outside the ring. And Saturday night's main event is tomorrow, so we're going to get a contract signing and probably some more action between these two. I highly doubt Shawn Michaels will be able to contain him. He'll probably get both of them to sign the contract, but I'm sure we will definitely get some action. I will definitely make a preview episode for that, so be on the lookout for that. That'll drop as well, and I have some couple more episodes as well dropping this weekend, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. And remember, this is Hefe's World, and y'all just living in it. I will see y'all next time.